Okay, Abusia, the appointed Chief Justice Baffoe Bonnie. Abusia, finally, Waba Ababe break his silence on his appointment as a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court after say Sake a former Chief Justice Tokunu. Abusia, Paul Baffoe Bonnie, and President Mahama a presenting no a day actually a Council of State say and our person choosing or a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Abusia ene papa na ba kasa de ensem bi ababetuja. Na ne nsem a ode ababetuja no abusia we de kakum ya jene kwa kwa nu. Momi yanko na yanko nkotie ensem a ode tuja. Subscribe, like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabi Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell. Send any update bia you better drop once able to me aka madam ase.
Call by News Association, the Law Society of Ghana, has ignited some conversations about the import of the visit. The Law Society of Ghana argues their call on the CJ was purely to congratulate him on his appointment as Chief Justice and to commend him for his recent reforms. Critics, however, argue the visit has the potential of compromising a writ filed by the society, praying the court to determine whether or not the Ghana Bar Association is the only body that can represent and issue licenses to lawyers in the country. Before we look at the writ and engage the issue a bit further, let's listen to a leader of the group to the CJ's office and the response by the acting Chief Justice and a Justice of the Supreme Court.
The race of the judiciary, we've seen some positives. In the sense that we've noticed how the judiciary is beginning to assert itself and, as it were, showing how independent it can be. And that is what Ghanaians have been craving for. Your sterling leadership is giving hope to Ghanaians. And with the fact that you are also being nominated to continue, we are aware that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
In his first public statement since being nominated, Justice Baffoe Bonnie pledged to run an open and inclusive administration.
I'm going to run a very open administration. The judiciary, the bench needs the bar. And so we are excited that you have also pledged to support the judiciary and its intendments. And then at the end of the day, it is justice for the people that we all seek after.
However, as concerns could be raised that the Law Society's visit could influence a case currently before the courts, one in which the society is itself a party and challenging the Ghana Bar Association, Supreme Court Judge Justice Kot Puamang stressed that the courtesy call will in no way prejudge proceedings.
There are other matters which have come to our attention. There's a suit that has been filed by some, I think, 3 plaintiffs. That suit is seeking broader issues of interpretation of the Constitution. And I want, because the media is here, to make it clear that the interaction here is in no way intended to prejudice those broader issues that are being raised in that suit. Your visit is within a different context.
Ghana Law Society is also another organization of lawyers that has come up as a country. We should accept it and support it to grow. Our objectives does not, spell out that we are challenging them. The objective that they have is the same objective that we also have. And the objective is to support the administration of justice in this country, support the judiciary, and support our democracy. That is the same as the Ghana Bar. So we are helping the institutions. I mean, it's a complement. We have well over, I'm sure, 7,000 lawyers. And all 7,000 lawyers, one association cannot administer all of them.
That report by my colleague Noble Crosby, and let's get a bit more in terms of the details of the suit which have been filed in the Supreme Court, where they are seeking, amongst many other things, to have the court make certain declarations about the Ghana Bar Association and what they believe is a certain preferential treatments they are enjoying. Let's walk you through exactly what these reliefs are and what it is that they are seeking to have the court do for them at the Supreme Court, one of which we've been hearing Justice Scott Praman make reference to, that their visit, the purpose for their visit is completely different from the matters before the Supreme Court currently. And so here's what the Law Society of Ghana is praying the Supreme Court do for them. The first, and these are 5 reliefs, and we've just curated a few of them. The first, they want the Apex Court to declare that the constitutional reference to the Ghana Bar Association, because when you go into the 1992 Constitution, the Ghana Bar Association is mentioned quite a lot. There were, they expressly stated a number of times where if you go into the Constitution which governs all of us, this name, the Ghana Bar Association, is mentioned strongly. Now, they want the court to declare that the reference of the Ghana Bar Association in the Constitution must be construed as referring to the umbrella, must not rather be construed as the umbrella of Association of Lawyers in Ghana. And as such, it must not be just the Ghana Bar Association as we have it presently. Also, they want a declaration that the constitutional references to the Ghana Bar Association in several articles of the Constitution and references in the Legal Profession Act 1960, Act 32, cannot be construed to create or imply a monopoly for any one private association of lawyers. In this case, they're referring to the Ghana Bar Association as we know it, whose headquarters is on the Gamal Abdul Nasser Avenue as well. Now, a bit more in terms of what they are seeking, a declaration that the name Ghana Bar Association in the Constitution and Legal Profession Act must be construed as a generic or umbrella designation for association of lawyers in the country. Then again, a declaration that any conferment of constitutional powers, rights, roles, or privileges on the current Ghana Bar Association will vest exclusive recognition of it, which forecloses rival associations of lawyers from equal recognition and participation in public constitutional space, and that recognitions and conferment of powers, rights, and privileges are inconsistent. So simply they're making the argument that, look, the conferment, if it is maintained to mean the present Ghana Bar Association as we have it, then it will be a disservice to other groupings of lawyers who've come up, which the Law Society of Ghana is seeking to do. And we had one of their leaders as well speak to the fact that they are seeking to, amongst many other things, advocate for the same thing as the Ghana Bar Association is doing, only to suggest that over 7,000 lawyers, the GBA cannot seek to serve all of those 7,000 plus lawyers. Hence, other associations also have to come up. Then there's a conversation about licensing and the renewal of licensing as well. But let's get onto the phone lines right now. Christian Malmhesse is a private legal practitioner. Let's make his thoughts as to whether or not really there are genuine concerns that this visit can begin to raise a few eyebrows as to that matter. Bits and pieces we've gone through pending before the Supreme Court. Counsel, I appreciate you speaking to us. Is there a legitimacy really in terms of the concerns that are being raised that this visit raises a bit of an eyebrow in terms of the push currently ongoing at the Supreme Court?
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. Indeed, it's interesting times we find ourselves in. This is not new. We've had the learned Tien Wadru mount similar action in the past. Indeed, every association has its own internal problems, and at all times the front must be maintained. I also understand where the society is coming from, that given the fact that certain internal matters had laterally stayed longer and have not been resolved. There should be plurality in terms of associations, and for members of the bar to choose which bar association they would want to join. Indeed, the Constitution also enjoins that there is right to association, and that also, if we look at the use of the word Ghana Bar Association in the Constitution, other members also suggest that the purposive interpretation, which if the court confirms as that, would break the front. So I mean, at this juncture, there is division in terms of plurality of the mind as far as these areas are concerned, whether the society should be given the nod. And indeed, in the case of Ward Drew versus the Ghana Bar Association, the court indicated that the General Legal Council is the body that regulates the professional body and training of lawyers and all of that. So indeed, if anything, licensing should come from the GLC to the society, but I believe they will deal with that. The most important thing now is the hurdle before the Supreme Court seeking purposive interpretation. And if they are so successful with that purposive interpretation, it would mean that when they say Ghana Bar Association, it represents the umbrella unit of Association of Lawyers.
Right, but even as you mentioned that legal hurdle, there are those who have said that there could be a challenge because the Chief Justice will empanel judges to sit on the case, but quite clearly this scenario has been decided by the court already. There are those who are of that belief that yes, the case is in court, but it's looking the more like this visit, and even though we're hearing comments from Justice Scott Praman saying that the visit is different from what's before the court, there could be a determination which could go against the Ghana Bar Association.
Yes, indeed. One would say that the acting Chief Justice acted in his capacity as the acting Chief Justice, exercising the administrative function in receiving service from all walks of life. But one would also caution to say that in that administrative duty, once this suit has been filed at the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, even though acting in that administrative role, would empanel members of the bench to see to the disposal of that particular case. And to that extent, the CJ could have deferred hosting them, to either of the points, one could uphold the rightness of it. But we cannot also overstretch it to say that the acting Chief Justice has acted unethical in that particular situation, because it will be stretching the legal point of that. Because when we enter into that, then we will say that in situations to disqualify judges sitting on cases, we file motions or we make arguments of likelihood of bias or where they have conflicted themselves. And that is why Justice Kwaman came in to put that caveat there. So to take anything that could be likened to likelihood of bias or any prejudice.
Right. Just finally on the matters and not wanting to in any way at all prejudice the case or seek to begin to interpret by ourselves or clothe ourselves with the powers to interpret. Is there really a concern if anybody says that the GBA as it is should be decentralized or we should have multiple law associations? Is there really a concern there which should require that, the GBA might lose its powers, or any other concern really?
I mean, it is a personal opinion, and in my personal opinion, I believe that the GBA serves the interest of all lawyers across the country because it is decentralized. We have their council heads, all 16 regions, so that whatever consent of any local region you could always go to that particular secretariat and have redresses and all of that. But definitely, when council meets and there is a general assembly, it is a collective decision that is taken, and definitely the collective might never satisfy the minority, and that would cause some misgivings for persons to seek to have alternative societies. And in that direction, the Constitution also allows for members to have the freedom or the right to join any association at will. And to that extent, we would await the decision of the Supreme Court in this particular matter, since we cannot put the past before the court, and the Supreme Court will not be happy for it to
absolutely.
Yeah.
Council, as always, I appreciate you joining us. That's Christian Mahama speaking to us this afternoon on the latest that we have. But let's get on to the other phone lines right now. Victor Kojoga Daudu is a member of the Law Society of Ghana, was part of the delegation of lawyers who paid a courtesy call on the acting Chief Justice upon his nomination by the President to serve in that capacity fully. Council, I appreciate you speaking to us as well. Would you say that with the benefit of hindsight, you could have stayed that meeting with the acting Chief Justice, considering the conversations now about prejudice, amongst many other things?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your cherished viewers and listeners. I'm a founding member of the Ghana Law Society. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, Council.
Yes, I'm a founding member. And the visit to go and congratulate the acting and nominated Chief Justice was to go and congratulate him. And that had been scheduled. The letter that went had even predated when he was nominated. Predates when the suit or anything had been filed. So we were to go and congratulate him. In course of going, that it has been scheduled that we were to meet yesterday, then a suit was also filed. That has nothing to do with us going to congratulate him. In the first place, is the Ghana Law Society not a registered association? It's been registered under the laws. It's been registered as a professional body. So if a professional body says that I'm coming to congratulate the head of the judiciary, who is the administrative head also, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. That's why Justice Palmer has made it clear that, yes, we are there to congratulate them, and there was nothing that was said that we want this, and that case that has been filed for which to interpret the Constitution was what we were coming to discuss. He made it distinctly clear. So if people are saying that because that case is there and the Chief Justice, the duty has been imposed on him to empanel the court to hear that decision, because we have met him in his administrative capacity as head, will have influence or be prejudiced. I think that you are stretching the matter. And what we did, is it not backed by the law?
But Council, there are those who say, I mean, you're the legal experts, that when there's a conflict of interest, it has to be cured. You think that statement by Justice Scott Pwaman cures whatever concern of a conflict may have arisen as a result of your visit, considering that you yourself have alluded to the fact that the acting CJ will have to empanel the justices to hear the application you've put before them?
But if it is a case against the Chief Justice, the law says that he has to empanel. No, that is what the duty imposed on him. Now, are you saying that as administrative head, he cannot meet a professional body? Is that what we are saying? That because he empanels and anything that has to be done with administration and you have such issues, he cannot act? And this meeting had been scheduled It was scheduled way back, even before this suit came in. So nothing, there was no discussion. We should not allow others to bring a hypothetical situation that we don't even know the people who will be empaneled. We don't know. It is a duty imposed on him to do. Is it going to be part of the case or he's not even going to be part of it? This hypothetical situation does not exist. And we should not make a fetish of this. It's an association that went and says that we've come to congratulate you. And we believe that you'll be aware that we have this association. It's a professional body.
Right.
It's been registered under the law, and we have the certificate, which was shown that this is the certificate that we are registered. So it was a legitimate thing, not that a group of people just went in there to speak to the acting chief justice that this is an issue we have brought, and whilst doing it, the issue should be looked at. That will raise the likelihood of bias. So this is the point that had been made. If the society had raised issues as to what they want, the interpretation of the Constitution, before them, then that is when you can be saying that there must be a likelihood of bias.
Right. All right. I appreciate you speaking to us. That's Victor Kojoga Dawood, who is one of the.
Okay, abusuafoɔ winning and some ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ political highway so appointed chief justice Paul Baffoe and this and some no ever to ja edemaya unsubscribe subscribe like na share my front so answer into me and can be Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so any updates be ever drop piano once a bit to me.